Okay, thank you very much for joining us for the second video this afternoon. Really appreciate you taking the time to do your part at home. All right, so we're going to dive right into using two color counters to to represent negative numbers and positive numbers. All right, so friendly reminder, these yellow counters will represent a negative number, and these positive counters will represent, these red numbers will represent a positive counter. All right, so to begin with, we are going to represent the number -3 using a two-color counter model. It's pretty straightforward. There is the number -3. All right, we'll do one more negative number. Let's represent the number -7 using a two-color counter model. And the truth is, it's pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's -7. So we represent negative numbers by putting the appropriate amount of yellow counters on our workspace. All right. Friendly reminder, we can still represent positive numbers. Not too crazy, right? So 2, it's just two colored counters right there. So that's how we represent positive numbers. All right. Then we get to the infamous 0. 0 is so famous that it is infamous. Anyhow, so how do we represent 0 with two colored counters? All right, get ready. Here we go. Here we go. We're done, right? Okay. But it's really it's very interesting because with two colored counters, there's a much more useful way of representing 0. So this is what is called a zero pair. So a -1 and a +1 actually form a 0 pair. Okay? And so this right here is a different way of representing the number 0. All right? So I can represent 0 with nothing at all. That would be the absence of any counters. I can represent 0. Sorry about that. Or I can represent 0 with a 0 pair. All right? And as a matter of fact, I can have a whole bunch of 0 pairs. And that is a different way of representing the number 0. So that is 0. That is still 0. Even though there are 4 counters, it's still 0 because the +1 and the -1 cancel each other out. All right? So 0 actually has many different ways that it could be represented. It can be the absence of any counters at all. That's an appropriate way to represent 0. Or we can represent 0 with any number of 0 pairs. Okay, so now it is your turn to practice. And I would like for you to model the number -2 using two colored counters. So please pause your video and return when you are done. Thank you for pausing. Here is how we represent -2 with two colored counters. Okay. We're going to try another number with two colored counters. Let's see, can you model 4? Can you model 4 with two colored counters? Pause it, draw it, come right back. Okay, thank you very much. We should have gotten 4 red counters. Pretty straightforward. Okay, another practice problem. -5. So please represent it with your counters. Draw it on your paper. Okay, thank you for pausing. -5 again is 5 yellow counters. Thank you very much. Okay, and of course, we have to give you that challenge right there. I want to see, before you hit the pause button, let me tell you, I want to see you represent 0 in 2 different ways. There's space on your notes for you to draw 2 different representations of 0. All right? We're going to pause. Okay, so I'm going to bring 4 negatives and 4 positives. All right, that would make 1 0 pair, 2 0 pairs, 3 0 pairs. I'm going to bring that over there in 4 0 pairs. That would be one way of representing 0. Okay, and you know what? My second way of representing 0, I'm not going to be terribly creative here. I'm just going to bring in, so that would be one, I want to be clear, that would be one way, 4 0 pairs. All right, and my second way would be 5 0 pairs. So it turns out I can take any number of 0 pairs and represent them and use them to represent the number 0. Okay, so we are almost at the end. And actually, as a matter of fact, I am at the end. But you have a little bit more thinking to do. Because now that we've represented positive and negative numbers using 2 colored counters, what I would like for you to do is prepare for our exploration tomorrow by exploring a little bit by yourself, okay? So you'll see 5 practice problems at the bottom of your page, all right? You'll see some problems with addition, and you'll see some problems with subtraction using both positive and negative numbers. And what I'd like for you to do is take about 5 minutes to practice representing those with your 2 color counters. And I think it's really interesting because I haven't showed you how to do that. So I would love it if you did your best to represent those problems and just show us what you got. All right, so no worries, just do your best. And we'll see you tomorrow. And so, once again, thank you so much. You totally rock for doing your part. All right. And as always, let me know what you think. At me, hashtag me. I forget what you kids are calling it. All right. Mr. Mendoza, at Mr. Mendoza. And that is my Twitter handle. So thank you very much, kiddos. Y'all have a good night.